Nadia Bayer video bi wa be pese
Nana inti says ya opese Ghana for munyo dey.
Be se Ghana for nya sa ejidie no wo mi mo.
Nadia Bayer nde.
Wonu hu say mi obi a mi sro nyame enti
Stop there.
Enti me njira adwom en kansem tre Ghana for a mi ntumi ndi so. Nana ontumi ndi so a me nka se meye na me ka se meye a mo amani sua meye.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out.
Ghana for most say.
Kwasiebu oya.
Mahame Sablon yewo. Na ne yedi ka twen ntem timi ko yi ma ba firi ma. Kama kwa kwasam na busuafo aba firi. Tan na MPP for mo good nipa ni mu ase.
I told you, Nana Addo cannot rule this country in 2016. I told you.
Akufa don kwa da wagu MPP party no. Ya ni musa akwakra we be twa drot. Nana nanka so your true for the true na betina so the okay obuwa. Your true no the betina.
We need to rescue this country.
Disappointed Nana. Well mind this for anya ye Nana.
Ti obi kura ka so be si amasa nka me nyini da o.
Sa kwa de mampani won to aso na so wonye dey.
Your problems are near facing. Yeah, he was aware. I think he's still aware. If these people are not competent enough to do the job, we need to replace them. Yeah. Because
thank you so much for watching
Bramoro Media.
Thank you so much.
Mama ya show. Na kupa do kuye. Na juma ni o. Au. Mama. Yewo. Au do mama. Yewo. Nana ba kuye. Mama.
Yayi lori la azuo yayi.
Nana ba kuye.
Are we ready for a new president?
Yes.
Are we ready for honest leadership?
Yes.
Are we ready for a competent leader?
Yes.
Omanpenyi mama said, Ghana encheni ere fiasem. Ewo musana. On Wednesday, when we take our ballot paper, we will remember 8 years of corruption. They will remember Wyoming. They will remember Sada. We will remember Suba. We will remember Bass Branding. We will remember all the monies they have appropriated to themselves on Wednesday. When we take our ballot paper, on Wednesday, we will remember the arrogance of the NDC government. We will remember their lies. They've insulted doctors. They've insulted teachers. They've insulted nurses. They've insulted ordinary citizens of Ghana for asking them how they are using our money. We will remember that the 200 senior secondary school they couldn't build. We will remember that under NDC, various stages of completion means bare land and a billboard. We will remember the almighty incompetence. We will remember that they have doubled the interest rate in 4 years. We will remember that when they took over, the exchange rate was 1.2 to $1. Today it's 4.3 to $1. We will remember that they haven't solved Doomso after 5 years of hardship. We will remember all of their incompetence and mismanagement. And more importantly, when we take the ballot paper on Wednesday, we will remember that Ghana is a great country. It's a country that deserves a great leader. Another Dankwe Kufuado, or Sorbe Yenshishe, Papa Mahon. Abani approaching $35 million. Dorbesi factory Mahon. Where's the factory area in the still in Mebunye Jumanya? One to Abana Man and Ebu for the number Mahon Jumanya Kweku Fuado Nyanchanya Konta, Eke Beba Chuni Ehanye, Koni Ohiane Bolewo, Amane Hune Bolewo, Neba Jewa Yami, Niwa Fanwa Yawa here. For all the young people in this country, those in school who are expected to finish school and get jobs, those who have finished school for years and are unemployed, we have a leader who's going to solve your problem. On Wednesday, get out and vote for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the MPP.
After 8 years, they have had more resources than all governments from Nkrumah to Kufuor put together. They have used of 248 billion Ghana cedis. And after 248 billion Ghana cedis, they cannot pay for national health insurance. They cannot pay for the national youth employment. They cannot pay for the school feeding program. They cannot pay for the free maternal care program. They cannot pay teacher training allowances. They cannot pay nursing training allowances. The mass cocoa spraying program has collapsed. And today, electricity is costing more than rent. This is the government of President John Dramani Mahama. That is the record. And this is why we say, if the MPP could build this economy with 20 billion Ghana cedis and you come and collapse it with 248 billion Ghana cedis, it shows without question that you are an incompetent government. Without question, you are an incompetent government.
Also, I mean, damage in Mamuda. Remember, Shambo, I mean to mean this one. They call Rupiam because I'm can say Mudua, the Babati petrol, so who do also an petrol bois and a cost. The Babati near my soul, it's a Baba Yafo. There's one brass of grad and halfway there, one. And then only cake once in the year. Cake once in the year. The Bia Boya Day. I mean, halfway to me to be. One of my answers here says she said, power in the battle, so called better than she said, and discovered by a good to go. Free Chevy. Chevy on a who's Kevia. Nabalese animal who's Kevia.
The MPP will shift the focus of economic policy away from taxation to production. So we are going to move away from taxation to production. From taxation to production.
Prices are increasing at a faster rate than the official statistics are capturing. A few examples will suffice. We've seen over the last 3 years, even pure water has gone up threefold, cement has doubled, and Olonka Ogari has more than doubled, Ideal Milk has more than doubled, a maize bag has gone up sixfold, rice has gone up as more than double. It is clear that the cost of living, as measured by prices of these items and others such as petroleum products, school fees, road tolls, and electricity bills, have increased by triple digits. I should add that these price changes do not necessarily mean that single-digit inflation is not possible. It would depend on what is being measured and over what period. Mr. Chairman, how many Ghanaians have seen a single-digit increase in the prices of the goods they normally buy in the markets and shops? When you ask what is really driving this single-digit inflation, the explanation, ladies and gentlemen, is that food is what is driving, food prices is what is driving single-digit inflation. But we all know what is happening to food prices in our markets. So, what food is this that is driving this single-digit inflation? Most Ghanaians would attest to the fact that life in Ghana has gotten harder and harder over the last 3 years. Single-digit inflation has not reduced the cost of living, and in this regard has been rendered practically meaningless. Ghanaians are in fact experiencing a triple-digit inflation in their pain and suffering. Could it be that banks, like the suppliers of goods in Malata Market, have not quite bought into the single-digit inflation idea? The financial services market, like our traders in Makala or Malata, appear oblivious to the fact that we have single-digit inflation prevailing in the economy. So where are we collecting our price data for the computation of inflation? Which markets are we visiting? I would like to know. Driver of economic growth, as the NDC government has been doing. You cannot believe in the private sector as a driver of growth if you refuse to pay contractors for years after they have executed their contract. Some contractors are penalized deliberately for supposed political affiliation. Some contractors have to pay bribes to receive payment for works they have executed. An MPP government will be a government for all the private sector, regardless of apparent or perceived political party affiliation. We want to create jobs, and it does not matter whether it is a CPP, PPP, NDC, NDP, or PNC, businessman or woman who is creating the jobs. You are all welcome.
97.3 City FM. Relevant radio, always.
Mr. Chairman, with the relatively small amount of resources available to the MPP, in 8 years of government under the leadership of President Kufuor, we had just 20 billion Ghana cedis from taxes and loans. Notwithstanding this relatively small amount of resources, Ghana's economy was transformed from a low-income HIPIC economy to a middle-income economy during that period. And it is always important that we tell our story. We in the MPP always are not willing to tell our story to the people. In the 8 years of the MPP with limited resources, we established the National Youth Employment Program to provide opportunities for the jobs for the youth. The school feeding program to provide food to basic pupils in schools. Capitation grant to make education affordable and accessible. The free Metro bus ride for children in basic school. National Health Insurance Scheme to provide accessible health care to the population. The free maternal care for all pregnant women under the NHIS. The introduction of a Metro mass transport service for urban areas to provide subsidized transport for commuters. Introduction of the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty program, the LEAP program, under which welfare grants are paid to the extreme poor. We saw massive infrastructure development, roads, schools, hospital, and water. In contrast, Mr. Chairman, this NDC government over the last 7 years has had at its disposal 200 billion Ghana cedis from taxes, loans, and oil. This is compared to the 20 billion we had. But what have we seen? What have been its achievements so far? The NDC has recently produced another green book to catalog its so-called achievements in terms of projects undertaken. The very thing our President John Dramani Mahama described in the past as an exercise in mediocrity. What is interesting is that after 7 years in power, and after having over 200 billion Ghana cedis at its disposal, many of the NDC projects in this catalogue are still either on the drawing board or are artistic impressions. What really have we been doing for the people of Ghana in the past 7 years? Mr. Chairman, I would like to make 2 comments on the NDC projects that they are touted. First of all, many of these projects are overpriced as a result of the apparent result to sole sourcing as the primary method of procurement by this government. Many of these projects are riddled with corruption. You've seen the car power deal. You've seen the Ameri power deal. You've seen the recent Kumasi International Airport. The runway rehabilitation alone, a rehabilitation of a runway cost this country $23.8 million. And as I said, I compared it to the proposed airport in Ho. The whole airport in Ho that they are proposing is to cost $25 million. So was the runway in Kumasi paved with gold. We've also seen the rebranding of Metro Mass Transit buses for 3.6 million Ghana cedis. I will not talk about SADA, JIDA, Wayo, the National Service, Rockshell, and all of that. Mr. Chairman, a failure to obtain value for money for projects imposes costs on the country and the private sector. Businesses and individuals are ultimately charged the cost of corruption and failure to obtain value for money through higher utility tariffs, hikes in taxes, and other rates. It results in higher prices and higher interest payments. Mr. Chairman, notwithstanding all the claims by this NDC government to having done so many investment projects, the stark truth is that the District Assembly Common Fund is in arrears. The CAT Fund is in arrears. The National Insurance Service Scheme is in arrears. The school feeding program is in arrears. Payments to government contractors is in arrears. Training teacher allowances have been cancelled. Nursing training allowances have been cancelled. Many nurses and teachers having completed training school are unemployed. Graduate unemployment is massive and on the rise. Interest rates are high and rising. The cumulative depreciation of the cedi under this government in the last 7 years is 70%. Doomsday has been going on for 4 years. Economic growth is on the decline. Agricultural growth is stagnant at 0.04%. And food crop growth is on the decline, it's negative. And cocoa farmers are suffering with the collapse of the mass cocoa spraying program and the fertilizer subsidy program. So how can a government with this record of failure attempt to claim that by undertaking projects that every government does represents a major achievement?
Yo, Nazo Tarunga. Sofon Shugaban Kasa, John Mahama, Yagora Kamanshi Koba Hakaba. Abinda ya sorani iyituba ba. Bahakaba. Malam John. Atakbir. 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 all the men of God here present, my brothers and sisters. Praise the Lord. As the psalmist says in Psalm 122, verse 1. And I quote, I was glad when he said unto me, let's go to the house of the Lord. So I am pleased to be amongst you here in the worship and praise of the Lord Almighty.
One Junction, one Bola, one Wache, one Wele, one Tilapia, and then one Bakue. Nana do Obilayo, Nana do Obilayo, Nana do Obilayo, Nana do Obilayo, Nana do Obilayo.
Remo Epibrim. Nipani bi adwene se nia ekoso ewo Guinea nanu ya Emma Alpha Conde yetuno ade so that through the military coup d'etat no ebinum kire se aseko was amwa because omunyomo ne se Alpha Conde enhye se oberane a third time ECOWAS wo eye nhwe ha sa na papa eye de obeya akosise coup no esiye as the chair of ECOWAS ebinum kire se ECOWAS a fairly Guinea for one is our phone a bayadriana.
Let me kind of say reasons, reasons for the military intervention. Now, the decision we've all taken in the ECOWAS space, there is no justification for military intervention at any stage. You know, can say, it was okay to have a coup, we're opposed in principle to any intervention of the military in the political life of the country. That is not why we taxpayers have paid for them to be in uniform and carry guns, not to turn it on the population. The population is capable of resolving its problems through the ballot box. So that's a very fundamental principle now. And the problems we're bringing. There's a whole lot of arguments as to whether or not the third term, whether it was well done. But it was by a popular decision. A referendum was held in Guinea. There are question marks about the issue of the referendum, but the referendum was held in Guinea. Oluwan Hussein, he had to go through a popular process to be able to do it. It's unfortunate, in my view. Maybe Fisan can say by this time part of the ECOWAS protocol on good governance is to outlaw the third term mandate in any country. Yes, I feel strongly that this is something that we should do.
Why?
To prevent this kind of thing from happening. Yeah. And the opening, Yehu Ghana said it's possible through the ballot box to change governments. 3 times in the course of this Fourth Republic. FISA is a very important part of the stability of our country. We'll be able to say yes, as a bus and there some see the oil and amount for bar. Aqua nefri only do before for swaba. 18 here say because some bench in Yanko this animal. Yan bombarding ye or be a bar father one in a year before you went for brow. They do before for swaba. A bus says the oil or he has a sort to aswa. No soba. 18 if it's a term limits, no, part of the stability of democracies, especially presidential systems. Parliamentary system may a bit different, but presidential systems, this is a term limit, no bar, and Kebebwa. Now already, as a result of the ACO Guinea, ECOWAS and CASA, is protocols to see whether there's a need for adjustment of the protocols to take account of this sort of development. I mean, to be honest, personally, I don't speak as chairman of ECOWAS. I support the idea.
All right, very well. Thank you very much. Before Sir Obeko.
In less than 4 years, this government has spent more money than the MPP did in 8 years. And yet, they have little to show for it. Secondly, this government has borrowed more money than all previous governments put together did in 52 years. I ask, as all of us must ask, Sikano ewahi, Sikano ewahi, Sikano ewahi. The Ghanaian people are going to tell them, you they go, keke, you they go, keke, you they go, keke. You don't have to produce. If you are a farmer, you don't have to produce your NDC MPP party card to be able to have access to cocoa mass spray or to fertilizer subsidized by the state. That's not the Ghana we're going to build. God bless you. Yeah, man. Yeah, but Pequine. I'm a Ghana in Pabia and Yanofa who did na papa and Quanso Eban. I can't in our Bako, our Ghana, and son of the other. I can't in our Bako. Young flexible day, young flexible day in the woman. When the MPP near, that is all Ghana now. Yes, everybody be here about it. No one said, Emra Eba the year Juma woman Ghana. Before the bread, Emra Eba the year Juma or Ghana. Ubana only for because there are ever time of my sicker. When you want to be out your word, Juma. Every of my sicker, you found my hotel. You find your hotel. Yes, I am. That's why Marathas and what's your say? A free president, a pussy. Yenina, a shamrase, Namrano solo, a Bayer Juma, a Kufuado Brasso, Wyoming Nomno, and to me, Sida, Samina Nando Kufuado, and I will put out money. You may. That campaign, I Everybody the way there. I'm about the dark and people before you walk Ghana. A free and national chairman, national executives, council of elders, regional executive, constituency executive, polling stations executive, and MPP supporters and sympathizers. Very important Bondimona, but then Nasia Cassia, and Mamunina, and Mamunina, and Mamunina, Maya. So, and now Tibia, your work, or your sister, and people draw at your maid now. The beer I'm promising you, within 18 months of a new government of the NPP under my leadership, the face of our country, Ghana, is going to change. Within 18 months of a new government of the NPP under my leadership, the face of our country, Ghana, is going to change. Within 18 months of a new government of the NPP under my leadership, the face of our country, Ghana, is going to electricity tariff, yeah, about the tissue, we're coming to reduce electricity tariffs.
Mama ka senti minu sikiti yo.
Anya tumi ameko akofa se me ba be bomo krono matase Ghana fosika aba be se me kotokuo. Ya no tina me petumi. Yeah, ba. Se den shishe pa ebo menu. Isisaya ebetumi amagana etupo emesika ena hoto eni etuma etumi aboma na Ghana so ele etumi akoneni Ghana ya mobododo ya mobokwado yetisikaso isu akonde yetisikaso isu akonde onyakubo ma me kwana me ba yeah, Bani about the sister, Sunday,
In the first 2 years of an MPP administration, under this Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication program, where every constituency will get $1 million every year for rural and deprived communities. Under this program, there should be no village or community in Ghana after the first 2 years that would have a water problem or a toilet problem.
Okay. Any Hunsla entering in Ghana, if you Naya MP NDC, Abambai, Yeri Kokomoti. Eba be yisa how no any sa hotra no every year home ama by papa ama Ghana ama by Ghana forward ama by ma hotra $1 1 CD. In the time of Mills and Mahama, 2 CDs $1. If I was done, I would say to the people of Ghana, I'm sorry. We are sorry for the poor work we have done. We're going to go and think about ourselves. But that is not the people we're dealing with. The fruits of office, the money under the table has become sweet for them, so they're determined to stay. Are we going to allow that to happen? Are we going to allow that to happen? In Kufuor's time, one of the people who advised and helped him develop a strong CD was my running mate, Mahamudu Bawumia. Then he was Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana. It was one of the reasons I brought him to come and join me. That we will work on the CD and create again a strong CD that will be able to allow us to develop our economy and allow our traders and our work to be able to develop. We have told the world that under our leadership, we're going to turn our back on the old economy, the raw material exporting economy, and build a new industrial value-adding economy in our country that will bring jobs for our people and especially for the young people of our country. That is the goal of the new NPP government and the administration and the national government. A competitive labor force, because we're going to give all the children of our country an opportunity to develop themselves by providing for every single child in our country free senior high school education. No, we can do it. And we are going to do it because it must be done, it can be done, and it will be done. That the great legacy of Kufuor's era, the National Health Insurance Scheme, that these people are bringing to a collapse. When we come back, by the grace of God on Friday, We're going to revive the National Health Insurance Scheme so that it can work for every single Ghanaian. Every single Ghanaian will have access to quality health care for our country. Their response to our campaign is in two ways. There's no money to do the free secondary high school. It can't be done. Sometimes they say it can be done, but later, but not now. And then, of course, the other part of their response in their campaign, the Ghanaian people are going to tell them, you dey go, keke. You dey go, keke. You dey go, keke. You dey go, keke. You don't have to produce. If you are a farmer, you don't have.
Say, I lift up my money right now, and I command the city. Say, I hold this money in my hand right now. The city. Say, I hold up the city. I hold it up. Say, I hold up the city with prayer. And I command the city to recover. And I declare the city will not fall. It will not fall. It will not fall any further. It goes out. I command the city to climb. Say, I command the resurrection of the city. In the name of Jesus, say, I command a miracle for the economy. I command and release a miracle for Ghana's economy. In the name of Jesus, say, Satan, take your hands off the president. Take your hands off the central bank and the finance minister. Say, we release innovation for the president. My God, the governor of Bank of Ghana, Central Bank, in the name of Jesus Christ, the Son of God, the finance minister. Say, we command new ideas, breakthroughs, and a miracle for the economy. Let the city rise. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Ghana today is in crisis. Agriculture, once upon a time the bedrock of our development, is a pale shadow of its former self. Manufacturing is at a very low ebb. Corruption is at its height. Our economy is in tatters. Inflation is high. Taxes are high. Businesses, both big and small, are struggling. And millions of young men and women are out of work. Incompetence is the hallmark of the Mahama government. Government appointments are not based on merit, but on considerations which are not only puzzling, but also bizarre. Our healthcare system is in shambles with the collapse of the National Health Insurance Scheme. The cost of education continues to be a big challenge for too many families. Young people who have toiled to obtain qualifications are having great difficulty in finding jobs. And there are hundreds of thousands of Ghanaian children who are not getting the kind of education that they need to compete in the 21st century. Ghana is in trouble. There is a need for change in the way in which this country is governed. A change that will make way for a competent, honest, hard-working, well-qualified team to take over the affairs of this country and steer it in the direction of prosperity for all. Instead of the current state of affairs, which dwells on prosperity for the friends and family,
of the people in power. What excites me is that in spite of all the difficulties, the Ghanaian people have hope. They have hope for a brighter future. They have hope because they believe change is coming.
Patrono motometer. Patrono meze motometer. Patrono mbimono. Amote swanu patrono wa 40 cities. Mepa motometer. Moto abane mamia. Meba betete so. Meba betete so. 40 cities. Ghana for driver for motometer. Driver for motometer. Zamoto abane mamia. Meba betete so. Meba betete so. Ete moto abane maye. Ene baba omia. Moto abane maye. Meba betete so.
Message to the President of Ghana.
The unknown is here for you.
Part 2.
The unknown is here for you. Justice is here for you. Anything you are keeping as a secret, you thought you believed so much in yourself. You often say, what the hell? You are a nobody. We made you who you are. All those who joined the queue just to stamp for you to become who you are, you must listen. Who the heck do you think you are that you won't listen to people? Who the hell do you think you are that you won't listen to how people are crying? Are you saying you don't hear them? Is it that you don't have television, you don't have advisors, you don't have messengers, that you have to just behave? You just have to ignore the fact that people are going through hardship. You take people's work away from them and still get them to pay levy to you. Do they have to steal this money for you? You are a thief, and these monies that you are taking, we need all of them back now. I want to know the secrets Akufo-Addo is keeping from the whole Ghana. What are some of the things that he thinks are hidden and that we wouldn't know? And it's a burden on Ghana. We want to know what are the hidden things we have to know as citizens. He is 100% enlightened about the chaos going on in the nation. It's not like he hasn't heard of watia mana brosunsuno, like sikana obejeno emu hiane pa. But let me tell you, your time is up. Show me more for all the secrets this guy is keeping and feeling like we are fools and we will not know. Show me. Clarify the helmet. When he becomes enlightened about a situation, he pretends to think about it a little, just a little, and behave like, oh, he wish he could do something about it, as if he can't do something about it. You sit and wish you can do something about something when all the money is in your hands. You are the fucking king of Pentacles. And all this money is in your control. You can do something now. How can
Party from forward, a gamma forward, you put here, young Pamu, or who made here, on the Korea ballot box, am I?
If you are a politician, now when you're penny, now when you go down on somebody, you are looking down on yourself. A job for more Ghana. More man of clear, and it's a value, and yet you might. Shika Muji, news at some publishing, more publishing. Now I could catch any panel, or Yamitia will go.
Okay. And you may Yamacho, Yamaha, Amache. I will maybe a summary or so with ye. The patch house is saying now do a video number 12. Every day they are power 68 FM. Chemedia Yeri Virginia, Bronoa, Yatudim Tom Fris, and then important. Near me did radio watch am be at the Quackisket, me patch out, and Chobanya me video live now what can. Check until the abotre, oh, Quackisket tap. What did he do we are sitting down on one year? And you may be a share, me patch out. Chemedia baby and Tuguna and Quakutu. And a salary me de tuka achro Brazil. Uko Facebook ka Apple 68 FM. Facebook one abetiache Apple 68 TV. Facebook one abetiache Apple yewo ho. Ipacha Ghana web yewo ho modern Ghana. Tuning radio flash Apple 68 FM. Because Jumedia a television as a radio station at the camp. The Pachawuko modern Ghana, Yoho. Ghana Politics Online.com, Yoho. Ghana, Yoho. The Pachaw, Uram, Nawoko Akuma time, Afranse, Techimai, Brahafo, and Patembo, Adwachewa. Nana wadaruma me wo honde e pacho kompatem yetem cruiser 96.9 cruise fm e wo pno ene dem patem Quackisket ma bawdam e wo patem ho ye adwuma na wotwe nyina e kopom pre nyina samle bibi o ha ye dia ba ya twi ni fameta Family kwano echese kofa bi kwa netie. Data ye kamene. Na na do kaso obekase ente hwe. Manchester da ka ba ye na hye Manchester da ka de banmu so obekasa enso wa ka chire. Enti me pacho. Je de bibi aba fa no kwa. Akufo do data hwe ma ho hyehyew. Untimi ko social media ko tie hwe. Wunya nya nka ba hwe Quackisket na so data shoto. Arane wo da. E pacho Correction I will be data to Facebook home. You know, and Tiwa will call Toby or problem. No, Quackisket, not my friend. In Castle, they say will be a man. You know, hey, but men per se, what told me about for platforms, so will be the data to a toy. I'm a friend, in that image of offering too much phone calls and I'm on pressure to me patch out. What will show me the data to her? Woko pa I want to business and make Quackisket. The America said data ye free me say multi TV boss no radio channel 21. Okwa Quackisket me was multi TV radio channel 21. Only be a to be bought 10. No one yet a 1.5 million per 150 Ghana series. Per Ota on my mouth decoder on set like BB at the time. Ubanyami yeti ubanyami like after life. Ubanya Kevin Taylor crossway tea also. Play with up here. Anybody your baby come Afa Kana. Maybe because me we mako NDC electioner. Omo choose me as say independent candidate. Something called and I said, omo choose me say medical the young Thomas Wapa. Free enko. But my angels not can't travel to my call. And so some quarter or much. And yeah, blue. Hey, my car will be my son. My car went through and the Kufwa to a pine. I'm in the home by channel. My one the chia. My power the sack of Pumbo to a man. Anyway, Pierre when you're ready immediately. Let me be a 2K. Your website at www.tgfm.com. Apple 68 FM. Okoba the pato. Ubenya me television wo ubenya radio hweti. Na wo kwa de open yen ton fa no kwa. Pika ehwebi. Ayimre ye property come afakana. The pato uba ade a mehwehwe firi ho se subscribe page no na like page no. Na wa share dia mo obi platform bia wo so bia. The pato. Fabi to so obi nya binti na nya kono. Amagro na timi ayete. Me angels no mo penhwe so wa ma me hwe ama me fast wa mfa jan to ba angels ntimi fans am mba abo a wo de fire na angels mo gina mo hwe me sa fire ba se fire fatoto fa jan to so e ja bi e wo platform na yire so a wo hwe e patu tu ja bi to so bo am na enye fe na wo like page no anybody here pati come on many so time me no ba kufwe Babashia kwantifi na mibeye de wo wiase. Eji na mi koni sanyo. Oba kufwe he na mfa. Oh, na kufwa we feli. Wa feli poto. Wa nene na ho tisa bofa ya mo na pampansa wo dem. Me pacha wo ba she video no. Anyimre de be ba na mo ate pa. Ni ko jira ni ho nya me life ahe. Na police mama memfre angels kakra hey asa na bi wo edu na bi ye obro me na water mama memfre wo mo many so time you no ba kufwe na be hia kwanti fi na me be ye de wo wiase aji na me kwani sadio na dre na he na me fu oh Amamwe bena ekosu potoi papa akufu adura memwo dia ya na tampa papa free education titia pansam papa dollar yentumi ntokra papa ena me ne wo kasa ya to asantidie mo papa na do ba be kasa ya ye ni pre-recording papa Emo yentimi nto papa anwa de ne boa ye de ne kura aye na mi kodi senio oba kufwe he na bifo oh akokra ni am sese no oba ye yanka ya fatumi an shenesa na dada me na di mawu na coming through na dada me na di yawu na feli ye na yabu dia be di president and then guasie atu akufo na bi si wiase afana na biada probably some angels na mirror na minya kwana men come bresa because no see papa especially program dey no you call NBC go to the call special to the call
Yeah.
Atinta Cassia, a Kufa Ubasa Ubesi, Patenkusiaka. Cannot for a power which produce I intend to be a camera letting many about what kind of Michelle, Patrick, the sister that compare Patrick Amo or United States of America. Name me a Michelle, Amofa compare. And then the first time I was with him, and I'm on your cassette. Police are my men call a pretty hot. The patch of woman shaving you, mammy. Shall come and be a cock or beer. Teddy kind, I'm a dead bro. I'm penny of Kufnado, and the next one Cassa, I was say. Cassa now one Castano, not a pre-recorded. A pre-recorded. Ah, now no fear that we hear video, no. And my edit to be free. But I don't cry. Are you when you were some baby watch for? Because one who sends someone will be kind of fast won't be any saw. One who said, and someone who found the back a toy. Nansa back on credit. And it says, seven casse. Nana could find the castle about 12. Hete president atons you Oman panya kufon watons yam say cow but kunu when you are seeing be a fan penny for police am the picture line yentam yeko and me be chapa and me be cha some of the can be brother come and say me chichi match can for ameko the patch yentem life but some panya kufon was failing. Facebook never tie Santi Crack Cram was fairly protocol. Bias president. President Awayako Finipa in the whole world. Aya Kufnadi. President Awayako Finipa. No ya 419. No ya Raska pa. Aya Kufato. Masa men kasa papa na metano. Na mamwo ye fo akufo na mamwo eye crazy because one cannot correct hana de kana kwakodu akokra wa magana fo ti asiese ye tisika so na comment ye omani nyiwa hia man ene we hia na achichire ye pedi sabamini nkanya me first story ansanam de nwanam na ba wa yentem and me hear me because every other question wabekasa, every other question penny kufa wabekasa. Until my meaning can no face. Why? Ama obekasa kra na Ghana for a patch of producer, a bayama camera no cosro kakra. Joso camera no. Shemame, camera de na dia to see. A patch of shemame. I added 2 camera in na. Me embrace is here why? Me embrace is here. Your best is here. A patch of menko baby. Me camera no baby producer dia to no. The biblical crusade that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. We need wisdom to rule this country. Na omube Ghana ayaye ni bisabio producer, the purchase the camera. No, she move new camera. We used to see that the camera, mammy. Her mammy, we patch out. Camera now, the atoms and the she's a metnasi. Some metnasi, dear, a young mammy, but and the a human person metnasi, Tim patch out. More have a camera, some other, Miss Repa, this right. And son must my Kajanaguna camera na connedia, Meninia, Shamam, Shana to ye, mammy, the patch out, Okay. My uncle. My swipe per camera. No, that's the problem. The Pamatel camera me pen. Producer. Shena mamena camera na me pen. Yeah, no na. What they mamena? Why? The who say what swipe per camera? No. We na me pen. Why? Thank you so much. Now. We na me na. If I will not be a hunkakra, mamma. So I won't have me a hunkra with the janice, mamma. Dear mobile be a boy, I beckon, say, won't have me a home, mamma cry, and say, mamma, and the men can add it with us. That's it. Said the wire, yeah, come on, will be a home. Okay, mamma, cop, with us. Story number 1. Edega and the bro. On penny of Kufa the Casa won by Casano. Or say, Dollar no be your to Mamma Canafo. And you may Jenny Kayan the day travel cannon in his set. Sankufa the Catra say, Dollar no by Tesla and 419. Sensia me no Cassan. Bessie be a young quadia free. Koko, you say you break Koko Pia follow. We bet you be an answer told ya. Say you could give Bessie a video of a Koko. No Koko Pia for your trauma country. Massa, the kind of criminal child. And no, another do the no toss somebody be rat dollar. And tis a way a cannon in a wood Tiamia. Now we a Koko farmer. Won't fertilizer will call Quasia Ashe. Sikani Asia be run on them. Let me be said. Yet the big woman call Copom da Pai, I bet you solve problem. Yet the Sansicano, Coco from the sea, you see a quadrino, and only a quadridiable retolem. And nobody has solve problem. Ghanaians may be some. Yes, the Sikana break Coco Piafo. Yes, the Sikana ba no Coco Togana Aye. But since I know Cassadie, dear Billy, the Chisa Brady Pep. Sangradia, the work of Sawa Mino, Poto. Yati Crum her, and yes, you can get the Yakumasa Quine. Yati Crum her, yes, you can get Sika. And the Baba ya kwanya wakana. Ya kwaji ni elibe bram se $1. $1 boy ya dinti. Eya mfangura mukakra. The bema $1 na aye stable na ewura for how long? Ewura for how long? $1 is sapega. About 3 months ago, asamana making. Pasesi sika ya debe ya koko ye. Me to the Cocoa Crama and Indian dollar, maybe a panel. You see the big $1. No dollar let me a how long? And you didn't blow says can bet me a Jamacana. As I see a funny solution problem, a Greek minister must go like Kenwoforiata. Or say a Kota free ye. It will be a one pompa, a Greek minister. Well, born to the point. And then yet again, I tell you yakra, moko yakra, jane yakra, abe yakra, fufu yakra, enja yebubu mpo, yakra free Burkina Faso dipa. Jane diye pwe, sawa nye mali, ana Burkina jane na mwi jane papa. Sawo kun wadiane na wanfa jenne amfri Burkina na woye no wadiane na wanfa jenne amfri Burkina no amamwa abiane na tisuo chisa fri Burkina Faso abakana anu na ye papa ye kranie dia bakana agane ye wasas ye ntam da ho akufodo antrauma karamsa sayansa se. And a Greek Greek minister they were pro. Akoto free were pro to say moi. Akoto free was senke te se momone. We are a Greek minister. No one can find out the solution. You better not stop on your credit dollar. No, I can't run one. Now, a good for the Jaha. Someone penning for me to be a one more time. Nana, are you crazy? Nana, who want no? So what's the Ghana? Now, what can you never Ghana there, Papa? And again, I'm more what dancing. They are different approach because a Greek minister pro. Because a Greek minister no was bomb was sinking blank. So what to Ghana? No China rice, no war for. No Ghana rice, no war team power. I better what to Ghana be needed. Because the management now you could have here poor. I don't think I am a for country say Ghana and young Russia, Ukraine, I'm Ghana, yet. And young Russia, Ukraine, I'm Ghana, yet tons, your wife, yet me, I want to enter your Makoso. And your mismanagement. A Kufado, a Greek minister, can forget the management is poor. Abana Bobesia Gangan Twa. A Sose Ghana Chrono. Siakasia de Chechiri Ghana Kwe ye. But you miss a say, Bessia, your boy, you know, dear. I am a for consider all of this. The heck, what we have now watching woman more. What we have Bessia, woman teleconaso over 6 years watching near environment. Near what you are, what you can and say a quasso, a human band, why, and you compare. John Dramani Mahama and a Dabuase gas plant. And a gas plant, no, a tray and my Sikabu $3 because your tall gas in the Ivory Coast, your tall gas in the Benin, your tall gas in the Burkina Faso, your tall gas in the Togo, a booyah shop. It's a sea to me, Toby, no my Sika. And Tibesia John Dramani Mahama Kwache, you know, I want to be a gas project, no. Ya moka, you making money. That is the leader. And your leader will call this Sika. No one be Triaka. Yet Ghana, a buying to me what kana. Dear profit in your film. Dear benefit in a deba. Yakobo Besiano. No, your Chisa Sikana Yakobo Yabetriaka. The better na woman akoso. Adumbra esese Ghana abaya dwuma no. Mo mo ya ka kire mo se esese mutumi ya dwuma nya sika bi tue mo am hoka. Eno me ye kire se leader. Eno me ye kire so wo bu o mai. Sa Ghana ya ntiri anhihye sa nyoma wo ya Ghana ya nkwanu. Me ni John Mahama Sipno akasa. The bedroom may be a paying tomorrow. As a son, one can set me a secret honka. But the Aquadia Messia, or get to watches, or sorry, I yes repay. And you know why you make it income and free. Number say your Quadia, so you be investment and you be a secret checker, you be checker, and only a kufa watching. John Dramani Mahama, airport, I will yes, you papa for no. The whole West Africa, #1 airport. Etriana Boka. Because airline by Kubia Besika and Ghana for when you Sika you make it a lot of dollars. Etriana Boka. So now buy one planning and what to tell woman ye. What then she a papa good and moi. Can you remember? Quebec Etriana Boka. Yeah, electricity. Aya will be again, sir. I buy cash of electricity will be part and one and fapping back. No, but you want to pressure what honey, pardon, 20 to 30 million. say aban no koye electricity no gyina so na ye adwuma amanfo betu electricity bills. Imagine say do electricity bill 10 Ghana kura na nipa 20 million na a month ye say 5 times a year no etumi twia sa area no project na ye no. But Akufo de te ho obobesie wodi dware wiem obobesie wodi fasa wabori to obobesie wodi tafesa wabori na nisire mu keke na woka yesi kwa kuska kasati Akufo ato but papa na mewu na bon yesi akwadi sika dia meye koko ya badi sika ni dia makoko akuafo eche dia sika ne di ko $1 Nansa be the bomb. Nansa pay pan the bomb. Akufo didn't mean participate at this point. Only a cocoa money sika elpa. I don't know when you are tosho, but I'm telling Kenyans, sika is said no more. Product to all. Me catch out by December. $20. Me na me catch out. Since I was 16 wow, I can't fall pen. One of the one family runs on the struggle for December because December no conflict $1 no more. So they must solve November, December. And working Kosiaka. And Kosiaka. Okoje $750 million. And the ground she can't question because cannot forget and be bank or Panama. Spanish phone call. Cannot forget be a bank or how. And see a $1 na no what transfer no the call. See a castle be was shots I will company more in the same time. That's why I could find one team Pamokan for the other. Maybe some control say the bank givina company been one pay the Paramano. A control say Greek minister will be in Wayate. Can afford and conclude with dear who yes, see cannot be a woman and young trust you know say everybody is kind of because compare bank in this time of the year, not this kind of year. We use so called number. Can you see here? We use so called number na there. It is a what's a such kind of cocoa. We are penning everybody who are Sikana the cocoa. The crony never. I know number and the Switzerland. What would you say? Switzerland need focal. But sad dear man confirm being pennyphobia come corner. I am a man the Switzerland and Jessica because we are penny to make his canna. Let's canaka crew. No maffa. It's a can for yata. Sika one packaging. Sika can for yata. Sisako Panama. Panamana. Sika Paraganofo. Dollar whole chill. Dollar when you're being taught. When you're being young boy and ten. Can we forget that? Okobobesiana no transfer to Panama. The bad woman ye. Na ye Akufo da be ka kire ye. Ye tisika so na comedy ye. But sika money abusuafo ye ti. Sika no na Akufo da ne abusuafo da wi sika na keke. Wo omamutena ni no. Hwa ho kire wo kom. Hwa bena wo kom. Hwa sofa wo sofa. Fantatia watete akokwane damo so obiye bibia pepepe and the kind of incessiful kind of for your trouble for one fa and about your culture was say Akufo the scam your culture was say Akufo the comfort your culture was say Akufo the reap producer my memory is here why the producer signal I mean, this here. Producer, let me take you more.
Miss Ronuka. Oh. Nano is powerful. Oh, yes. I think it's baby about Bakasi and the whole Ghana 12 p.m.
First story number. Anything I made the able about the okay, no what the way I'm up for. Oh, attend the day.
Yeah. In fact, he could use the media to block it. And I'm tired. And so security. Bakum can say, also, next only and out of me in court. I'll beat the shit out of him to take that thing out. You are security regular to be. Many, never you are kind of what? Full support from there. Oh, yeah, full support. First, no, the oh, yeah.
Your cocoa man, she won't have on people so more.
Okay, producer, says I'm the producers are signals and another Akasa. Waba. Oh, my video back on Namonko Family. The patch of Fatum Mammy Brinusha. Yentem fellow Ghanaians. Fellow Ghanaians Akasa is here.
The biblical crusade that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. We need wisdom to rule this country. Nyansafo Muwahi. Yahia Nyansafo na Omubema Ghana ayayi. Nibisabio. Nyansafo Muwahi.
Producer, the catcher must say Nanado Wodinayum. Wakasa. Kasa na nyamba out. So the catcher say pre-record. Fellow Ghanaians, Abuwa Ghanaians, Etel Ghanaians. The producer and a friend say, Aquana Yadi in the MCA. So the catcher must say, I will punish a matches at the cabin. Wakasa, what it do home fellow Ghanaians. The patch of papa. Producer, offer me the me producer do the better so I saw you. What that the call commercial break. Young quoting somewhere cool for the kind. Say young Sabi one bottom. Now then cool for the Messiah one bottom with Jimmy. Wakasa here pre-recorded. Come on, Casano. Let me pay for her. Producer, the patch of my membrane chapelity. Yay! Aquaprana and then home. I go for oh, Bilayo. Nana Dre. Oh, Bilay. Me catch again of what's that? Video na kufa the neighbor. Ye cap me a ye with the other. And you want to tell me who was on Casa. Boy, yes, what your president. Ghana for a hardship. Ghana for power. Your life. Your head. Come on, 1 year president. No, what Casano. Well, not in some phone poll. Episode question more answer. But Republic of Ghana. On toll again. I'm one same president. I'm one same. Kwasia. Police of the Kwasia Casano to me.
Universal acclaim. We all see in real time the devastation that was being wreaked on economies during the pandemic. But I doubt that anyone imagined the extent of the damage.
What's that?
Our economy here in Ghana, like many others around the globe, was thrown into turmoil. When I said, at the height of the COVID pandemic, that we knew what to do to bring the economy back to life, but not how to bring people back to life, it was not said in jest. We had done it before, and we were on course to do it again. Ghana's economy grew by a remarkable 5.4% in 2021, signifying a strong recovery from the 0.5% growth recorded the previous year in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, in the last quarter of 2021, our economy grew at 7%, only for the Russian invasion of Ukraine in the first quarter of this year to aggravate the effects of COVID-19 and plunge the global economy into greater turmoil from which it has not yet recovered. Has been taken aback by the speed with which inflation has eaten away people's incomes. Economies, big and small, have experienced over this year alone the highest rise in cost of living over a generation, the highest rise in government borrowing in over 50 years, the highest rise in inflation for 40 years. The steepest depreciation.
Higher for 40 years. We see that inflation. Say Bajatum. Bajatum police
to the US dollar over the last 30 years. The fastest peak in interest rates for over 20 years. And the greatest threat of the unemployment in peacetime, with over 100 million people being pushed into extreme poverty. Between the end of 2019 and now, inflation in Ghana has increased by 5-fold, in Togo by 16-fold, by 11-fold in Senegal.
Where Jimmy for pa, yet Ghana the to Togo. Yet Ghana for Kenya inflation. President Bogos on the Togo. On the Gajan said, Nana will Jimmy pa. Nothing more no my Kufat will be crazy.
And by 7-fold in Cote d'Ivoire. In truth, however, the fact that there are petrol queues in France does not make it more tolerable that the truck price from Kasua to Circle has doubled in the past 1 year. Nor does it make it any more tolerable that the price of
was it Kasua was it Kasua to Circle? If you 1 year double fair, T video no
goes up every other week. It is important to state mentioning the increases in prices worldwide is not meant to belittle the scope of suffering here. Useful lessons about how other people are coping. Fellow Ghanaians,
fellow Ghanaians, good evening. Baba Mutuano, everyone can't tell. Everyone can't tell. Say, I didn't know one battle and you pre-record. And then when your life, God, you will drive me. Your boss will with your life. Your boss will. Boss will the drive, where life. Who pay everything. Now, pre-recorded, when they can afford per casa. You are recording the idea so much as the cabin. You to the Macanafo. Tosho.
Ask for your support as we work together to get our economy back into good shape. In April, after the cabinet retreat of the first quarter, and recognizing the deteriorating macro economy, my government announced a 30% cut in budgeted discretionary expenditures and a 30% cut in salaries of the president, vice president, ministers.
Hey, was it vice president? You're cutting a catcher. One more cutting a catcher. John Mahama. Oh, Ghana for. Mukofa John Mahama Mramate. John Mahama never could find your foot. John Mahama and the one of my could find your foot more for walker. Tea Hakakran. Was it Wakate salary? So tea.
This is why I'm back in your homes this evening.
And you never fear.
Ask for your support as we work together to get our economy back into good shape. In April, after the cabinet retreat of the first quarter, and recognizing the deteriorating macro economy, my government announced a 30% cut in budgeted discretionary expenditure and the 30% cut in salaries of the president, vice president, ministers, deputy ministers, MNDC.
We are free.
And political office holders, amongst other measures. And since July, when the government took the difficult decision to go to the IMF to seek support, I've been speaking publicly at different fora on the subject of the economic difficulties we face, especially during my recent tours so far of 9 regions, and interacting directly with you, the Ghanaian people. It is also true that many of you have felt the need for me to come back to the fellow Ghanaians format that brings us all together. For us in Ghana, our reality is that our economy is in great difficulty. The budget drawn for the 2022 fiscal year, that is this year, is in thrown out of gear.
Office of Presidency. So we have BC here, Wakati will pay the 30%. The percent for your boom contact. John Dramani Mahama said, "Yenyi ni panipi." Eddie, yengo pubida. Because Office of Presidency, nipa wahono dosho. Police are record man why? Because in the kind of one year you break. Yeah, election ya make because me time we yaso. But everyone na e kwa ye yankwanzo mo fa nsa. Ya ntome so ba makase me nko. John Dramani Mahama me yati ase Oman Penny Akufo-Addo Jubilee House nipa 1,600 to 2,000. GPNT ministers drop on press 70 to 60. Now the same Wakati will pay 30%. The person will put say some 30% about me as so because say you drop up nipa be down say nipa no do sika ebema ya no o dey compare 30% na dey in the betia me sika ebetu bi $4 na ye. I mean minimum so what tell you make sure say na the same Wakati pay government appointees pay Office of Presidency DC 30% cut pay. John Dramani Mahama so say nipa no do so you wa hwichem enti ebaya can you 50% di murphy. No one lasted because people go on also. Enti one counted nipa ni bi nya wo sika ye $5. Also so we counted 30%. What they compare they in necessity. They in about ya me sika bubu ya. Twaso.
Disrupting our balance of payments and debt sustainability, and further exposing the structural weaknesses of our economy. We are in a crisis. I do not exaggerate when I say so. I cannot find an example in history when so many malevolent forces have come together at the same time. But, as we have shown in other circumstances, we should turn this crisis into an opportunity to resolve not just the short-term urgent problems, but the long-term structural problems that continue to bedevil our economy. I urge us all to see the decision to go to the International Monetary Fund in this light. We've gone to the fund to repair in the short term our public finances and restore our balance of payments, whilst we continue to work on the medium to long-term structural changes that are at the heart of our goal of constructing a resilient, robust Ghanaian economy and building a Ghana beyond aid. I'm able to report to you, my fellow Ghanaians, that the negotiations to secure a strong IMF program, which will support the implementation of our post-COVID-19 program for economic growth, and additional funding to support the 2023 budget and development program, are at advanced stages and are going well. We're determined to secure these arrangements quickly to bring back confidence and relief to Ghanaians. We're working towards reaching a deal with the IMF by the end of the year. This will give further credence to the measures government is taking to stabilize and grow the economy, as well as shore up our currency. I know that the increasing cost of living is one concern for all of us. It is driven by fast escalating fuel prices at the pumps, which is caused by high crude oil.
Kasa wa kasa hwenye ya kira agu projector so and the zoomi projector no wall ho and wo hwe umdra wa ose wo hwe wall ho and ya highlight na kasa no reading and no be ma no ase ejana bi mu muwa ase bi mu wa utoleke
prices in the world market and our depreciated currency. I know that this is putting intolerable pressure on business. I know that people are being driven to make choices they should not have to make. And I know that it has led to the devaluation of capital of traders and painfully accumulated savings. Government is working to secure a reliable and regular sovereign market. It is expected that this arrangement, when successful, coupled with a stable currency, will halt the escalation of fuel prices and bring relief to us all. I hear from the market queens also that another factor fueling the high prices is the high margins that some traders are slapping on goods for fear of future higher costs. I say to our traders, we are all in this together. Please, let us be measured in the margins we seek. I have great respect and admiration for the ingenuity and hard work of our traders, especially those that take on the distribution of foodstuffs around the country. And I would hesitate to join in calling them names. I do make a heartfelt appeal that you all keep an eye out for the greater good and not try to make the utmost profits out of the current difficulties. In language that every market woman and indeed every trader in our country understands, let me say that the basic problem we face is that we're not making as much money as we need to spend. And what little money we do make is going to pay for the debts we have contracted to fund the development projects we must have. Not enough of us are paying our taxes. Not enough of us are producing to generate the revenues that we need. Nevertheless, my ambitions for Ghana remain high. All our children should be educated and trained with skills that will enable us to be competitive in the world. We need to close rapidly the infrastructure gap. We need to build a world-class healthcare system. And we need to build confidence in ourselves to make ours the happy and prosperous place it deserves to be. I believe we can and we will find the means to achieve these goals, even if the immediate measures we have to take are painful. At the just ended cabinet retreat at Pedrassi Lodge, my government agreed on the framework for the post-COVID-19 program for economic growth in the IMF's in value terms by 2028, with the servicing of our external debt
pegged at not more than 18% of our annual revenue also by 2028. We're committed to improving the revenue collection effort from the current tax revenue to GDP ratio of 13% to between 18 and 20% to be competitive with our peers in the West African region. The Ghana Revenue Authority is rolling out an extensive set of measures to support the enhanced revenue mobilization. All of us must do our patriotic duty and support the GRA in this exercise. We're aiming to restore and sustain macroeconomic stability within the next 3 to 6 years, with a focus on ensuring debt sustainability, inclusive growth, while protecting. We decided to review the reforms in the energy sector, the capping of statutory funds, implementation of the Exemptions Act, and a new property rate regime. We've also decided to continue with the policy of 30% cut in the salaries of political office holders, including the President, Vice President, Ministers. Continue with the 30% cut in discretionary expenditures of ministries, departments, and agencies. My fellow Ghanaians, the success of our efforts in diversifying the structure of the Ghanaian economy from an import strengthen our economy. We're making some progress with the 1D1F, but our current situation requires that we take some more stringent measures to discourage the importation of goods that we can and do produce here. To this end, we will review the standards required for imports into the country. We will prioritize the imports, as well as review the management of our foreign exchange reserves in relation to imports of products such as rice, poultry, vegetable oil, toothpicks, pasta, fruit juice, bottled water, and ceramic tiles, and others, which with intensified government support and that of the banking sector can be manufactured and produced in sufficient quantities in Ghana. Government will in May 2023, that is 6 months from now, review the situation. We must, as a matter of urgent national security, reduce our dependence on imported goods and enhance our self-reliance as demanded by our arching goal of creating a Ghana beyond aid. Much as we believe in free trade, we must work to ensure that the majority of goods in our shops and marketplaces are those we produce and grow here in Ghana. That is why we have to support our farmers and domestic industries, including those created under the 1D1F initiative, to help reduce our dependence on imports and allow us the opportunity to export more and more of our products and guarantee a stable currency that will present a high level of predictability for citizens and the business community. Exports, not imports, must be our mantra. Accra, after all, hosts the headquarters of the Secretariat of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Fellow Ghanaians, as the French would say, l'argent n'est pas de bruit. To wit, money does not like noise. Sika mpe dede. Where there's chaos, where there's noise, where there's unrest, you will not find money. If you talk down your money, it will go down. If you allow an unidentifiable person to talk down your money, it will go down. The recent turbulence on the financial markets was caused by low inflows of foreign exchange and was made worse in the last 2 to 3 weeks, in particular, by the activities of speculators and the black market. An anonymous 2-minute audio message on a WhatsApp platform predicting a so-called haircut on government bonds sent all of us into banks and forex bureaus to dump our CDs, and before we knew it, the CD had depreciated even further. All of us can play a part in helping to strengthen the CD by having confidence in the currency and avoiding speculation. Let us keep our CD as the good store of value it is. To those who make it a habit of publishing falsehoods which result in panic in the system, I say to them that the relevant state agencies will act against
Apple68fm.com.
Some steps have been taken to restore order in the foreign exchange markets, and we're already beginning to see some calm returning. We will not relent until order is completely restored. The following actions have been taken thus far. 1. Enhanced supervisory action by the Bank of Ghana in the forex bureau markets and the black market to flush out illegal operators, as well as ensuring that those permitted to operate legally abide by the market rules. Already, some forex bureaus have had their licenses revoked, and this exercise will continue until complete order is restored in the sector. 2. Fresh inflows of dollars are providing liquidity to the foreign exchange market and addressing the pipeline demand. 3. The Bank of Ghana has given its full commitment to the commercial banks to provide liquidity to ensure the wheels of the economy continue to run in a stabilized manner till the IMF program kicks in and the financing assurance is expected from other partners also come in. 4. Government is working with the Bank of Ghana and the oil producing and mining companies to introduce a new legal and regulatory framework to ensure that all foreign exchange earned from operations in Ghana are initially paid to banks domiciled in Ghana to help boost the domestic foreign exchange market. And 5. The Bank of Ghana will continue and enhance its gold purchase program. I'm confident that these immediate measures designed to change the structure of our balance of payment flows, sanitize the foreign exchange market to ensure that the banks and forex bureau operate along international best practices, together with strengthened supervision, will go a long way to sanitize our foreign exchange market and make it more resilient against external vulnerabilities going forward. Over the course of this week, I've had several fruitful engagements with the Trades Union Congress and Organized Labor, the Ghana Employees Association, the Association of Ghana Industries, the Association of Banks, the Private Enterprise Federation, the Association of Forex Bureau Operators, the Association of Market Queens and Women, all of whom represent important stakeholders of the Ghanaian economy. They express their concerns and propose solutions on how best to solve our problems. The no individual or institutional investor, including pension funds, in government treasury bills or instruments, will lose their money as a result of our ongoing IMF negotiations. There will be no haircuts. So I urge all of you to ignore the false rumors Just as in the banking sector cleanup, government ensured that the 4.6 million depositors affected by the exercise did not lose their deposits. And then, when we say, as not as a true idea, there's no be a baba. Because in your GDO abandoned, it's share. It's not free SHS. Anyone just to one factory, Ebamuno. It's a share. A boy, it's me pound corona, yellow free of man. Sansu, my mobile, to me, ye. Samuel, Emma Hoto, Abba Oman. Now, you say, Tidiano, a woman, excess, a como, a unacupon, leco. I don't know. Like a BBA, make a shibi. Yeah, no. Me himo, a yake, Bojano too. Me honey free SHS and Bamiye. Bojano too, me honey this one district, one factory Bamiye. Bojano too, me honey when you was straight corona head, he la keshi woman and me. Nakano the Nyamlano, Bato Bojano to Kuni, Hijole, Abami. Ijake miye himo ke yeli ake ta mimotani. My government has always been cognizant of the importance of implementing policies and social interventions to relieve the lands of hardships. It is for this reason that over the first 5 years in office, the government reduced electricity tariffs Apple68FM.com ahead. We provided free water and electricity as well as reduced tariffs for the entire population during the whole year of the COVID-19 pandemic. We increased the share to persons with disabilities by 50%. We exempted from market tools. We expanded the LEAP by 150,000 beneficiaries. We expanded school feeding from 1.6 million children to 2.1 million children. We restored teacher and nursing training allowances. We absorbed the cost of BC and YC exam registrations for parents. No guarantors now required to obtain student loans. The Ghana card is sufficient, and we have implemented free TVET as well as free senior high school education.
Colorful. Fellow Ghanaians, me captain was said, I'm quasi as a no picker. Kako crazy with now can quasi as a COVID about pandemic. And someone that time I buy ya or they buy yet, I will be in the taxes I be free. What does so cast as Papa boy a toy. When you Jimmy for, mommy and cannot crap. The panel one yet. Cannot fall and here, dear, at this point. Dear, now what they born. One pen now the first of mine and home toy. Not the past tense. Fool, and I could you were useless.
It is obvious, fellow Ghanaians, that you have a government that cares. We're determined to restore stability to the economy and provide relief. Well, in all of us are in this together. And ask you for your support from the throes of this economic crisis. Let us unite and rally around our republic, its institutions and its
Producer, show up high. And sometimes see a time yesterday.
And insist that under God we will emerge victorious from our current difficulties. For this too shall pass, as the battle is the Lord's. I'll be coming regularly to keep you updated.
From also about the beer, one of my casa. Wait, yes, police are pay for license. Me patch out pay for license.
a man for mutie so we be tia like here e kwase asem kwa na do kwase asem wa win tampena na fa na ni so na ni so sane ni sai tell kai Ghana for program gram e no stop for and no gram meant to us we can't tell mo say na kufuado ya de ne kwase matches at the captain and that holo mobile ye pre-record when your live program you record and you try some go blackboard or sit class 1 table ya try some go so all kind of no teacher here we jina okutaba tell the catcher mo say akufuado kasa bobe kasa gira ye pre-recorded all kasa ones or head one I just say class 1 school because school near try be a good blackboard so you can catch them. You be about the one back waka, you know waka, you and some waka. One casa and someone papa kai a dear paddle to me for free. Kana dollar yatum, Amon yatum, Gale yatum, Abe yatum, Adobo yatum, ye importo in ye different kana. And soon ye import no. The warfare was say what take a my for America to so 30% and don't be important. Okay. And someone who for the Kenyan Kwasia said, I deserve a more and move to Jimmy a 1-1-A2. See as a kind. COVID pandemic. Someone win Kania, whom I win sure no maya, who you was have a GC can 1-5 channel. Who you could go punk on my kind of what you say. I am watching a one year man low into your take. And watching a kufuado as a sad tax, but the baby good Ghana force. Papa will shimmy, the pledge me and you catch them because who told for no one tear what the attempt did in their pack. And you may be pay for nice. And someone another like and then a warfare free man would see a poor. Patch out so with you. And someone another, and you may not share toy deck him. Now, we're betting about King Kanye, me patch out. But we said, go for the creation of Grandma Facebook and a coffin, or more for one to do on Facebook. What the man has in your call back when I mean here. And the other would see free pa. And that will feel said, what can ye? And some of my kind, here they papa, the patch out. Services here. Chinese here, Ghana 0257 75 92 0257 75 92 either WhatsApp or direct call from the Mubia and also from WhatsApp 0592 68 1029 0592 68 1029 Oh America, United States of America. If we are seeing our pampen, approaching papa. A crown will do one nipa. A patch of someone said could be more free. Dear Kufa the Kai, and dear now free. And some of Kai, a betting up Wakana, dear would see through my papa. And I didn't would see through my Jimmy pa. I just a Kufa with Jimmy for president. Maybe lies. 703 now 1 6775 and that's a 703 now 103443 703 now 103443 and that's a 703 now 103443 424 359 5176 what kind of services here in Pacho? Come on WhatsApp and a direct courses here in Congo. Direct Ghana number out there for me 0257 75 92 0257 75 92 the patch out police are can a be friend therefore we toss mommy BMT say and someone will tell you not the another king a young answer again so we toss my Paul J.M. Pepper, Paul, J.M. Papa, Osemati.
What you can really encounter. Ocean come out, home dito way, yesterday, way, engine. What was your shadow can one that? Now, okay, the old who he we are all war there. Okay, forget that. No, zoom and I was one organ or can.
So, I was a class 1 year, yet send your blackboard so. Who's okay, maybe a banana toss one, I can, and a toss of what?
After that, so we are not all in war, I'm a game business. What?
Paul, also, I tell you, my for there's a Jubilee House of Faculty. Oh, yeah, was the pandemic by COVID by no. It's sure what my baby Basaka was.
Papa, get in the league. What do you mean? A social faculty war on no. Because we have only 1,050. Who did it? Under your mama, Nipa sit in a war. Nana could buy wages to 1,950.
1,900. 2,000, almost 2,000.
Nipa no quarter, the account. 8 over 1,000. Koku, Mrs. Buck before we need to overcut there. The overcut, you will get your 20%. I was stuck with 1,000 in more. I look at your again.
Solomon Patrick, I want to hear me. I did what I'm going to say. Minister, ye water. We had only 88. I don't look at it all bar over lean government. Lane government means that over this so I'm making it with it. According to you, 122 in the wall. I told you that the way I situated, you know. Or catching about 65 one again you book. But and then go again also. Oh, you really just want to doctor. One person, oh, maybe I'm a chicken, you know, and I'm going to teach my teacher for work, and yet to have it. What is I want to take 30%? So you want for you know, who can get 30%? 1%, 30%. Every minute you bring the thing there for giving you 30% can then go here. About I say, cancel six members, the cancel there. Or what can you say that I'm not going to happen? Yeah, we can.
I am not that, and another part two or Yaman. Now, okay, the guy for your wooden bottle. You wouldn't go through, you wouldn't buckle. There was one thing in there. And then you learn and call, Facebook call and for okay, that's it. And I'm with this work like I have a tour. The full platter of that one. This year, 18 cities, 94 petrol, Seneca. Name at the catcher. Petrol, 16 cities, 94 petrol. And it's over 4 liters in Bonua. Over the year, 85 cities, 25 pesos. I think this is 1 gallon no. 85 cities, 25 pesos. 850. Petrol here, 76 cities, 25 pesos. The same thing.
760.
Okay, what will you able to do? Maybe I'm not to do money.
Casa,
Papa, what you got to be? I'm not going to me. Now, I say, when the country gets taken a while, or who's all, then you are not going to think about China. Who was a China, you let the church over Yana woman, or somebody. Oh,
all too kind. Yawada will be too kind.
The do too bad. That's the thing in the movie. I don't come on here. Look at the summer, go to the war. Who will hear more?
Once young can for yet at once.
What point drink?
Don't pass on Ghanaians. But to me, I'm not for yet a tea.
I don't do person out of the book and brotherly. There was look out drink. One quick one, the crowd, none of them because Papa was say or minor to chat on them. It is quite weak. Papa, me, my wound, your kind. Okay, community pandemic, I see my okay.
right here, sooner you are the what I'm still not them. And then I forgot how to do. Or shake out the phone with you. Now the end category 2024. NDC, the Kenyan will you to a barrier for market, you to a barrier so. Now, a man cost on, and we get to see Jordan amount that. But panel over to you, no man can again. And then I could never tell me that my name is already come. Now, Miss Akache, Ghana, Pumina, any entity for a woman on it. I had to achieve the data on my fear of a former. Now, national executives, you know, that's wrong. What we do, you have a pattern of soccer force or more. Or 1 1 so that a panel ongoing in the so we come home to go up a party. How from about party, who make up another and that one, and they could ye. Until on one, I think I have one for. Now, what for the
Paul, merci for you. Some I can't, and I've been showing a video now. Many uncle position. Why? Oh, Paul. My angels not said, my can walk one thing, maybe 10 test you. For my mental friend. My cat no one thing said former president Kwame John Dramani Mahama prophet would be for back now on my position now. Main check. Send your better will you be being your meeting me at Trent. Because and penny forced the old casa wouldn't send a chair. Wouldn't see the church. Old man should be with tears some pa. It is a NDC position. Na bibi koswa ebe say ebe party internal say you kind of party no me be kind of the campaign meeting eno na man na kwa sifa kan ene me nua no semtrofo no be bring to me kasa de akufo bi omunya nkobe ka etrenta na so pause ne board bi so omkota yenti omuntimi nka enti me kwacha me ka ye be kasa me set party no. Because we are communication officer, and then na DBSC na young kana ifi young kana kokwe. So what I say, see, me nyam ko me sifo. Nemo the one convention that you push no.
And then say who mu abaye udima obeye. Because our dear pushing out there no what you care which man just come and have. And the answer in the
branch election within 30 minutes on that home and Chama Pump program. I met to come and come back. Mean to be okay. So, a seven copua. I mean, you must salute. Yeah. Nipana, walk on also man conti, the Amazon on corn on post. Now, so we didn't crash. I mean, the Kwasha party, that she said. Omunya botre still me time ni penechi said ye me na sa send party be ye meboa no amwaja edu da nti o what you go with one direction so ba di o be tia no be mateme sa ma me na kasa san ma kire no me ana maka kire so because me jinidi say obetimi aye adwuma no mata na chi na akoni ana Paul et say o ko we ye o do kan de ko bi ni be ye si no da ko se andia ko so se ti boliviani na da bi te bi no ti ko mo be te me ya ma o bo ko 24 na be ka gre no be ni ya ka o le me ka na bondi ni ya ka mi de ye duma me te ti ka bi ga mo na wi a ka ko ya fa so wa ma no ma ko yi no ya ma wo ma we ti mo ni ka fa o di bi wo ma fa bu o me ti ka na fa aye de fa o le mi ti ma ko clear ma dia be yi ti na ja da shi da mo ka 2024 because whatever, Amen. Now, I'm moving on. Amen. Paul, near 10 and Catholic Ghana, no me patch out. My men fell in crime because my point many is here. A semi free studio, now me call Springfield Franconia. Now me call branch election. Caucus got your ponte on post. Let's show NBC USA. Fakon mi mami. Bedio. Hello.
I just go good evening, Mama, me chow dia.
Bedio sir.
Outpost 68 FM. Michia kwa biscuit kofa ban. Why again? So what you know, my Outpost 68 FM, my NDC for so it me try again. Na kufa bi ni pabonini. Egu radio stations for Ghana, na kwa biscuit. Any year me akeve kwa baby Taylor. Sam 90 million. 2020 election, we talk President Mahama to the word. Now President Mahama got to about 6 million votes. I'm 90 million. NBC for consider against some 90 million. No, we are skirt. And I hear me a call baby Taylor. I think the NDC communicate about like I said. They're good. I'm a good father. I told president. Agufa be a toy president. Agufa was a toy president. I can't be a toy for toy. Toy only the other.
The Balan baby careful no. The Balan baby careful. And Mamma Mieti, it's lie.
Yes. Agufa will speak our way. We're recording. President Mahama meeting our own more fair press conference. I made Nipa meeting our own with President Mahama new master. Oh yeah, but for be a visa questions. And then I go for be here. They said you must Ghana for you in classic food. Yes, I did before for Ghana for you in classic food and Ghana for one tattoo. So me in classic food. Because we don't mind the Koblas until now force a trap Makuda. Omo Koblas until now force a trap Makuda. I don't know idea mo be kasa na what won be show so. So won play my John Dramani Mahama be kasa. E dey na President Mahama be kada be kan. Won tiase. Let the Omo Koblas until kire. E do no meza ya na oba be kasa na go for akufa be kan. Na nyewa MPP for a team and a good father Swatia, Kinofoliaka, see a pamona or Massa Sama Grand, woman, more. Woman, I am king, a young pastor for, woman, no, my home. For what do a man want to Sama Magrin? And a good father was more Becca ye. And I am here yellow or fell from Ghana and a walking. Minister will be now or taste so. How far woman. So what is kind of the same? And that's a man who go for the small car, Papa, who can you? Could not phone from the catcher's electricity, any water bill as you saw it's a gun for me. One more car, electricity out to me. That's kind of for the side in the back. The other Kufano must speak that you will be saying one. Anyway, I don't hear people for to swatch as a no. Who be a finance minister, don't know about the Pamano. One can wait in a home. One can want some crap. I can't wait in a home. Oh, my media banner or finance minister. Says I'm the team. I am the friend as it was the money, but I'm calling me a CN. It's me, my media banner, what would be what would this can be up. It's one in your people in you. Now, young pump in the Vienna Ghana for material soon of friend of Pamano. Every kilo for that time, we keep the liver of the Americano. What about Germans and bullshit? And the whole parliament, I can get budget and my Ghana. In the kilo for that, and you want to man. We appear to many IMF for the Yagma. Ghana for go for the form somewhere class 1 for. And I will do Jimmy. I could follow Jimmy Ghana for the war say woman and teach you the answer 4 years to me castle of mine. I don't know how to say fat kind of Kuba, and the man of Bransante. But since I force a cat to Macuya. Or why of Bransante? One who tell you, sir, who President Mama saw the Casa, or my of Bransante said, oh, my President Mahama, the Casa, I'll what anyone. I remember the crew in Japan so. The tear near the bush and near the crew in the Japan interview here. Was the President Mahama Becca, Finance Minister, some. Now, President Mahama, dear, or IMF. Until President Mahama, no one to Becca, Finance Minister, some. Now, me news in Japan. Aban also a Montomanos, I have good in a woody. Second Japan now, no one see the Kufa, no, Papa, 1 year, and all that was so young. and you can't do pass as you for no tomatoes full. The cool for no papa no better to us or the any campaign. No reckon the Japan way, as I say, the tomatoes full. I give a good, the military to one is another brother you can say. You got a man of a swamp of Obi Amra no metro Abamano. And you good. You got a man of swamp of your vocal. Ah, chairman with a domain bread, you should be a more Casa, or take place in I will make Casa. Now, NDC, Obi Amra with some of any problem. 2020 election, no. I was a chairman of some of American senior who found Nako Court. The 2020 election, what Nako Court? Marco 70. Out there, I know because I go for some of the Nako Court 75. The 2020 election, no. JM President Mahama some of who will program or Western region. I go for the BNI for factor of some of say Yellow Court. They don't take Tina, the new bit may be a normal money in Eduma. And tell me before the sun started, how many view for 2024 election year, Baby. If you are all to abandon time of some of the almost started how many give the attention of some of you. And you go for both and again to say, some of some of your chini. I will not do the batching them. We are there when this more the watching them about watching for. I go for the attack and off some of the number of 75. And no till I made the new one loses your meeting here. And when you will say, look at here, I saw some of the chairman. I didn't emotional see a what to put me down my boss. I go for the matter 18 inch. I already had to go to top of no. And no, and my boss level. My only night, I want to. You know, for some of you, or by no, I'm a party last week. You will say, look at us, you are secretary of Dumalo. And also, I'm my NDC. You instruction the parliament, I speaker or parliament. I quite say, look at what you are to minister for the 2 million. You now speaker of parliament. And the never name you mean, I don't want to 1 year. If you be anymore, Umako Krumotino, and Emma, you will say, look at ya, and you will for some of you. And there could be dancing. And me shall be bringing.
Let's let us a pa. The patch of me to for phone calls. They call Springfield Comfort Inn Hotel. Na akota mini and monechi kakra. Kwakusket man kwen je. Ye mame on post. And na angels na bo me koko. Until the warrior na se me koko tanechi na me kache o mo se. Krache no me tanechi. Demo mshano so. The issue statement. Me the video ni audio about on thing. So me paka na ni bia chaw. Awoye NDC ni na producer mpacho switch video mama. Na from my picture. What's na me program. What's na time no. You must say me me anye. Because I could for the budget time no. Can ni pia me power chaw. So we NDC ni we MPP ni we floating voter. Now what is a skirt for communication officer? Yes, so bad back me. Don't fry the friend of me lazy video and then me fought. Many angels 200 million a year come on. Sometimes it's see angels nasa. Sana me were advisors in penny for power. We were lawyers until you assemble and may take me decision. Friday they buy some a cop, but advisors now and then angels not casino. Now man I dream that's all it mean fufu. It's not that ye bomb cocoa one day may just not catch him says you name not ye can win tia. The betcho. I said it's me pakan and the biacho. Messi from Menyan cop. Messi mo bo some a copat. Some cocoa di poosa. Me papa Kwame John Dramani Mahama. Oba no one ye ni ya. Mean to me can. But me pesa me chere kind of work. Some do my canano. Mean kwaji poos. Oba no one ye ni ya ma tran ma catch them. because I got you post no one any ye na what senten wa bonten conform be kasa party bampo and was selling e pamochaw eni abrese ka na be ye send ye be ya wo ka na no ba chimi yeti because me shall bomb be atwa say make kwaku skirt Papa John Dramani Mahama won ba na on point me say memo amasata memo minister memo office of presidency position my chita easy what the make to board so amechi send ye be ya wo ye bibi na nya metumi aka kire no memo ni adenti and a man ko because me maintain tesu to for in some for my own fa me ma me Japan mama nyame shira advisor kese pa osof mama mama Christy osu nyame shira Mozak ene me lawyer boni pa ntimi mondi wa fidie so nyame enshira wo mo ene afutu a omo ede ma me asase me fa nti mesreka na ni bia cement me anko for communication. This is the situation because the poster Papa GM Bano be a meeting a party internal affairs. Oko can make us a say party. But tell them in Cody post and since one year, me finance and quantro the matter. Says some me far from the friend, my friend catches a papa. A patch of whatever monkey you see ya, Cabepua. I shall more bother that aka, send me you post, a pine post, that. Then my GNDC post. It is our by now. It may pamuchow. Mon Shannon, and mamma. NDC USA, ye be a crown water, and not chairman and Baba Kasai, or call for chairmanship. The United States of America national me pacho wonso me bia ahomanato me si obi akwan ubeti afre ye bo fre ya ye no be hise hu nya so be fa play dia ba ubeti na ofi ye be ma link wa krekeso ye no wa program edru ba bia ye be frefre mu nyina ne ne mo ayi debate ye ho ye be hu se hwan the debate osuro debate osuro wan kasa radio so osuro the more be it, yes, Shadows. Producer, my mefa we num, na many money nkra. NDC USA, we a common mopa. Chairman, I work on Yasua. A man for President Yakon Asiahuma. Chairman, I will take Yaso, our NDC chapter. A man for President Kiaku Yanfo Twas. Now, what to keep from Tata cry. The party team. A football na mema wo te say the papa je ma akufa do football so we be fa kepepo ohima se we tie me a aka bo so na mo koto apa up to now no location me kwa cricket se me yo bi aduma me den makobi esa some slack pan and this one fa location na ma me ye dan me tie kwasra kwan wo di date na baba location we ye pese ka je o say Texas o say ayi ho no California say Texas one me pacho yan tumi nkoto aba ho na yi if you say free work Columbus no a 2 hours time America na center pa ayi Washington DC until the watch chairman of elders no councils some pacho platform wa ha say dey yi dey mo to so apa but see a mama amene kwan so ono mo meche ba bia enkoto aba no ensi ena me ka che se nketia se wan hwem ye wa mama reverence and am sad as me campaign tia me campaign what again wo ye campaign wo ho but ye ne ati America no wo ka kire se maame no wan che ba bia enkoto aba sa ye no because ba bia maame be ka se enkoto aba no e be favor enti ye ntono Washington Metro, Maryland. Obi a center, Obi a baba betwaba. We no time I remember because me up, but me mama tia say what change me boa, and the brother, the back, and nobody me main topic. I'm your mother's me patcho. Saudi obuo mani pana respect ye dia. Meaning so I hope so bubu ate. Meaning pa. Patie. And no never do baby ye no be a campaign yama. But for ya chenchen say, you see you say to the open abeya, una beti appointment be in Kotwaba. It's wrong. It's wrong. And sit down in what you say tonight. When we are doing a quick sketch man kwaji post because me kwaji post na instant force I want go New York bibi na nya mintminka agoye bibi na nya mintminka abadazi ye bibi na nya meden makoka e be kasa ye party as a communication officer meden makoka etimen kwaji post da se ne be nya meeting aka me ye pray enti abadazi as soon as possible and then watch me now what you be kwa we me patch out you hear by be beto aba NBC USA some yenyan kwa and will be na be chese koto aba yenyan kwa yen toswa ba New York for say omo sponsor $45,000 with the ambulance part ni kwa fahoka New York branch omo ready New York was so cool at a sexual man. Oh, baby, papa, be a winner. Open your bonus of ya. Oh, come out for some of your shop everything in New York. Any other name got to New York. Some more Washington DC. You go New York. I was here center. Ghana for who Ghana a bar. Now we see New York a short. Tansa Beko, Texas. Texas, no Kunu be Bekoso. Abandon the personal package in the pack. And do better trapper. It's no good work. Say you talk about Texas. And I say here, make country NBC USA say a fraud election. Na mo kwa koto. A fraud election. You pay peace election. I will United States of America, baby. Me patch on my for will toss. Na who say conform the data. Some data be say. Maybe me Ukon mo bi bua nyame na maye ukon escamoa price no bofu ukoto na ade ba chi ye wia wa nyame ukoto na ade ba chi na bank accounts ya tie free ma nyame be kwa quicket e ba ye obi fa advert mre ma be ya maka so ukoto bibi akoto no ho e pacho channel so e kina ho ahochira ba di power hu ye mu pa enti wo ye bibi akina ho mienu why can you be baby sikakake and so be the Facebook say oton data megawatts 40 gigabytes say me control o ko ni fu wa na me fa me kwa quicket because me dem home maybe ye fa bi ya toso say ni pano ono an oye na ade ti kokoto so wo na mala bi beto so ye dura me pacha since ye bad better there we take say ni kwa quicket oni pano ko ngo dupu me because me tie wo ha ni fine. But what we on tap to Facebook, send me your mala, phenomenal consultation. No, I can't see here. Minimum portrait. Maybe a patch out means me could because me call na Macquaco Bominianum. I was Prinefed Franconia, the time near short power. And I could find as an intimate young Casabi with Fatame. Yamia, what's not your bedroom was supply, ye be playful. But me send commonly set your tall, trim, recorded, and then see. And then the cancer memory, Sakufan, or the cancer papa bianto, and somewhat kind of tall. One to make a viewer, you could see your waffle.
Victory in 2024 is a must with the right General Secretary. Elvis Ifriye Ankra. He is capable. Elvis Ifriye Ankra. He is credible. Elvis Ifriye Ankra stands for people, party and power with unity of purpose. Vote Elvis Ifriye Ankra for General Secretary of the NDC. Vote Elvis Ifriye Ankra, the grassroots man. 2024 is a must. From big to big, the NDC shall be.
Yo, ni atafo me chache obi bia okonfo na ya woni me kura abosoma kesi na me de buo ni pa wo sunsu wotu kwa wa bla bla ABC basa otalia na wai upa mbambo upetumi upa wadie wa ya adwuma usika se mu ho susika to nsama na ahye bra na me for ma kuma to me so na me mo asin for so ana me wo obetima from ahomacho for issue 0244 13 24 16 0244 13 24 16 now you cut Jeremia ko ja ko mo no mkan che ko mo for so mo ncho mo ni wetete atompon ye do ma ko to mi na ye aduma mi ni adofo wa ko bibia hu be so musa pa bebi o ba bi bra eye ko da na bi e da so eye sunsumu eye hunamoni ya de bi adukuru wa che bla mi for ma ko to me so na me mo anapai na yawo me che obi bia.
Okay, said the mekan na ha na breme ma kwan am di dwumadi ni nesi one time nka bi me din de kwakusket ya me ya adoma ochena ene memen ochena ene branda ye besensia e ma mo ni ti o adehia
Abo bi wo ho wo friend efru so didi mi a enkwase ade nkotin no yokro no da kura na baby ejamu anya nsafo oka jire efru pompo de efru pompo ibi enti na wan nkotin didi mi a enkwase ade nkotin na ewu mani sadachi anhwe ni ye ya da sam bebo mani efru pompo jina wodi ọrẹ ìjàmọ́ lẹ́yìn efuru pọ́npọ́n náà síbẹ̀ kéèké ìjàmọ́ ilẹ̀ ìjàmọ́ èyí.